right. Peace and wholeness, everyone. You are gathered here today with practitioners of the C.H.I practitioners. And again, C.H.I is also an acronym for Collective Health Initiative. We are a group of holistic practitioners organized as your holistic HMO. And you are tuned in for another episode of The Health Class You Never Had. Right on, right on. All right. And I am Master Shep, serving as host and also the Kemetic Metaphysical Warrior Priest. I'm also founder of Soul Healing and co-founder of the C.H.I and here to just it's a joy to serve. And that's it. Precious.
One love and wellness. Top of the day, everyone. Today's topic, we're talking about what? What are you looking at me like that? Are we moving on with our topic?
Well, we were just introducing ourselves. That's all to the people.
I am Precious, Love and Love, Sacred Arts Curator, and I'm helping to help the mind to synchronize with the healing process that you want to implement and or change your mind about things that matter. Okay, I introduce myself. Who's next? Can you hear me?
Peace. This is Dr. Yu. I am a wellness consultant, holistic wellness consultant, herbalist, nutritional consultant, food nutrition particularly. One of the great members of the C.H.I. Peace and blessings, everyone.
Right on. Next up.
Heads up and wholeness, everyone. I am Stefan Pickett, founder of Royal Reset at royalreset.com. I am an herbalist, an urban organic farmer, nutrition educator, and community builder. Let's just go with that today. So I am looking forward to chatting with you all in the various social media places. Ask all the questions y'all need to ask, and let's link up.
Peace.
All right, peace, everyone. My name is Clarice, and I am with Rooted in Nature, natural body care and hair care products, and I make various products for health and wellness, from oils to balms to creams, and I am here to be a part of the C.H.I and give my own perspective today on the topic that we are going to talk about.
Right on. And Mama Elaine.
Greetings, everyone. I am a member of the collective and bring you breath work. The work that I do it through is breathe in yoga. There are yoga classes, and that's what I'm bringing to the C.H.I. I've got experience through the art of living, and from different modalities, I bring you health and wellness and greetings.
Right on, right on. And there you have it. And also a shout out to Sister Katnu, who is also a C.H.I practitioner. She's on the show today. And also a shout out to all of our associate practitioners of the C.H.I, and as well as those who are engaged with the C.H.I as far as healing services. So there you have it again, your holistic HMO at your service. And today's topic is lupus, rheumatoid arthritis, and other autoimmune disease issues. So, which is kind of heavy. In fact, every topic pretty much is heavy. Otherwise, that wouldn't be a need, as they say, for the health class you never had, which just provide some insight, a little different insight, information from our experiences on various health-related topics that may not have been covered in traditional health classes that most of us are familiar with, whether, school or otherwise. So, nonetheless, there you have it. Yes, and starting off, this topic is our Sacred Arts Curator, Precious Mother Love.
I was that eager to start this information. My company, Love Plus Art and Visual, I work on various ailments. And they're usually things that I have encountered that I have continued to be specialized in. Am I being heard?
Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you. Okay, so, the way that I got into healing was being trained as a thinking differently about ailments. And I explained it on the episode number 6, where we spoke specifically about what I do. I gave a sort of brief intro into how I came into healing, some of the healings that I had encountered, and one of which was with rheumatoid arthritis, how I am helping others with it, and then as well, how lupus is something that I've seen others, as well as myself, to have to deal with. Now, because I have a different way of thinking about things, I grew up thinking, and greater things than these shall you do. As a child, that was something that I thought. And so I experienced some really amazing things. So when I was told, a lot of the diagnoses that I would get a second and a third opinion because I didn't like what the first person was saying. I didn't want to accept it. So if I continued not to accept it, I would go back and work. So um, one one time in particular, when I went for a second opinion, that doctor, had no idea, he was a praying doctor, which fully changed my mind on how to associate with an ailment at that point. I mean, it went back to what I was thinking as a child, and it kind of connected it and made it real because it was something actually happening for me to apply it to a new mindset. So I prayed. I felt a sensation from my head to my toe. Now, anybody who's ever had that kind of thing happen, knows that, it you it's almost like an out of body experience. Like you're feeling it happen, but you're wondering, wow, this is totally amazing. But you're connecting to the spirit, the healing spirit in you. You have everything you need to heal. So at that moment, the doctor sort of empowered me to connect with my spirit and allow the opportunity to synchronize what my intention was at that time. So, I think it's something similar to like the law of attraction. I think it has something to do with um, how you think about an ailment. Like in particular, he addressed the ailment like, you have no desire for him to continue. We want you out of here. You do not have our permission. He used some demanding language, and it resonated with me. I mean, I was raised in church. At that time, I was in an apostolic church, First Apostolic in Baltimore, and it was very, the hooping, it was very rambunctious energy. And so I connected when the doctor said, and this is the thing, this is the doctor saying this, because as a matter of fact, he's going on to glory. He's one that I likened to a Dr. Africa, but in a medical term. I didn't know that before this moment when he spoke to me about this. Since then, things changed. Just to say, the thing is that you have to think differently about what the doctor tells you. You connect to what the physician tells you, then you're going to let it sink in. Then it becomes a part of you. Then it grows. It takes on its own life. You have to take control. You have automatic things that happen in your body. And for the most part, you set it on cruise control and you allow it to happen automatically. There are things you can't take control of. And once you learn how to, like breathing is an automatic thing. But you can change your breathing for the purpose of medicinal purposes. There are things that, like for instance, if you start getting a sign or a symptom or a signal of something, that's your body telling you something is going on. And it's up to you to connect to that and go to the root of it. Now, that takes a practice. That's something that I can help you do. But you go to the root of it, you work on that, and then you can come back and allow the healing. You connect with it, you address it, and you keep it the heck out of there. For instance, yesterday I had a back issue, a major back issue. I mean, I felt it coming on, and as it was coming on, I addressed it. I was like, you have the purpose of telling me that something's going on in my body, but I now release you from me, and you can now leave. And it didn't happen just like you just say it once, but you have to be very forceful with it. Now, that's a placebo effect, that's a nocebo effect. I mean, that's nothing different from anything in our history where if the physician tells you got something, and all of a sudden you go, oh, yes, I'm done. Or you can say, nah, and you can use his diagnosis as just as you would your body telling you something. You got further information. You can use that information to your benefit. There are tools and things that these medications and all of our herbs, I don't want to steer you to medications, but let's say all these medications can be addressed through your food. Not all, but most, the majority. You know how chronic it is and what your condition is and some of the factors. But if you have a specific diet and way that your body will operate in full optimal function. If not, there are tools that you can use, like the things that we offer, our services, to help you get back in touch with your body and take control of what's going on in your physical. But I suggest that you do as most of us do some meditation and get inside of the internal view as to why this has happened. Because everything happens for a reason. These things did not happen overnight. You have to hydrate. My 5 words of wellness go very far in this. First, you hydrate, then you cleanse, then you do an attitude check, which is basically to see are you thinking in the right way. You're opening your mind. You're meditating at this point. You're getting a two-way conversation, hopefully, from your inner spirit to yourself. The fourth one is your like setting your GPS. Now you put on your map. You want to be well. You're going to head in that direction, and the things that you are that your needs will migrate to and happen along your GPS route. And then the fifth is to flow. So if you don't have the proper flow, things will stagnate. Things will collect. You will have some areas that will develop growths, and these growths are accumulated energy and emotions that are from your emotions. So a lot of times you have to fix your emotions to go deeper into why these things have accumulated and stagnated. But you've got to hydrate, your flow going, have the right mindset and attitude, um, tune into your own signs and symptoms, listen to them, and respond. Immediately when you feel some of these COVID or coronavirus symptoms, you got to go after those. So the same thing applies across the board, whatever it is. If your knee bothers you, your knee is trying to tell you something. I'll just sit down and listen. So figure out what you're doing wrong. So with all of these autoimmune deficiencies, and I'm saying lupus can be addressed the same way, rheumatoid arthritis can be addressed the same way. For now, I have been using the tool of copper. That's actually how I stumbled on it. I was a jewelry maker, mostly gold and silver fingers. I did the beading. I couldn't do it as much anymore. Working I suggested, Natasha's Wear of Art, shout out to her, who suggested, why don't you work with copper? I did. I started using it, and it started keeping the swelling. I used to swell from my head to my toes. Now I maintain a pretty balanced, like I don't swell anywhere anymore unless it's something acute that occurs because I now wear the copper. So shout out to my colleague, a chef, master chef, who also provides the same food. And I can testify firsthand to being able to be healed from all of these things with the right mindset. But these tools that we have are a stepping stone to help you into the right direction of healing yourself with this mindset. Can you hear me? All right, awesome. So next on this topic is Dr. Yu. Dr. Yu, what do you have to say about the healing episode that we're on?
Thank you for that wonderful information, precious mother love. Very, very powerful. I want to start out by talking about exactly what an autoimmune disorder is, and by its more classical definition, so to speak. An autoimmune disorder is considered any type of a disorder or adverse health condition where the immune system attacks a part or several parts of the body and causes inflammation and damage in that part of the body, which results most often in some type of pain that people experience. And sometimes it seems like a random, unexplained type of a pain that most people experience. And depending on where it attacks in the body and or how it attacks in the body, that's how the autoimmune condition is diagnosed. So if it attacks the nervous system, you're talking about multiple sclerosis. If it attacks the joints, you're talking about rheumatoid arthritis, lupus. It can attack the skin or it can attack the entire body depending on the different types. So uh, you have a type 1 diabetes, which is also considered an autoimmune disorder as well, where the immune system attacks the pancreas. So there's many different diagnoses of the same type of action that's happening inside of the body. From a metaphysical standpoint, you know, when we look at, and what I mean by metaphysical for those of you who may be new, is anything that is beyond the physical, something that's from an energetic standpoint. And from an energetic standpoint, we always look at what the physical condition is doing and how that correlates to the message of the energy of our life flow, because there's always a correlation. And what it tends to correlate with is self-guilt. So when the immune system, your defense system, is attacking your own body, what that's saying metaphysically is that there is an element of yourself that's not really settled with something that you did or may have experienced. And therefore, you tend to beat yourself up, so to speak. You know, and so part of the element of coming over that is coming to terms with you know, your ability to live with your decisions or things that may have occurred that may not have totally settled in your spirit, so you can, you know, heal from that situation or those situations and the overall condition. It's an element of allowing yourself and giving yourself permission to heal and to get past something that you may not have been able to control at that point in time, but you know that you can always control or direct your response to it. And that's what it's really about from that metaphysical standpoint. From the physical side of things, that tends to affect your gut and digestive system. And what tends to be associated with a lot of autoimmune conditions is adverse gut health. That means that, you know, the gut and the intestinal tract is the part of the body that processes food and beverages and extracts the nutrients, the things that you need, and gets rid of the things that you don't need. You know, so any kind of waste byproducts, and even when it comes down to emotions and things of that nature, negative emotions and so on and so forth, if it doesn't serve you, you know, that's the element there that kind of separates the good from the bad, what's needed from what's not needed. And so it's very, very important to take care of that primarily when you're looking at it from a physical standpoint, whether you're talking about doing it with herbs, with foods. Now, because of the nature of this condition, it's often advised to do it more so with foods. You know, I'll mention a couple of herbs in a little while, but it's to work as much with foods as possible. Foods and also nutritional supplements, you know, that can be very, very helpful. Some good cleansing foods that are also anti-inflammatory as well, things like papaya, things like pineapple can be useful, you know, things like okra can be very useful as well. You know, those kind of things like that help with elimination of things that you don't need, your waste byproducts. They help to alleviate constipation. And at the same time, they also have a very soothing type of an effect on the cellular membranes. The other piece is that um, when we're talking about nutrients, and we're talking about the immune system, one of the ways that the immune system works is that it targets foreign proteins, or what the body perceives to be foreign proteins. And so when you're eating things that have a lot of a high protein kind of a value to it, and especially if it's coming from animal-based products, it tends to lead and lend to a lot of inflammation, and it can trigger the immune system, especially dairy, and also um, refined sweeteners can have a same kind of an effect as well. And so how you can get past that, is of course avoiding those things. You can also utilize probiotics. Probiotics are very, very useful to help to moderate those types of things that are happening with the gut and support the overall health and well-being. Um, so in terms of nutrients, we're talking about things like vitamin B6, which is important to help to break down proteins. Magnesium, which is also in the same vein, very involved in the metabolic process, very important for that. You also have nutrients like calcium, which helps to bring more alkalinity to the body. Anytime the body is in a very acidic state, it tends to cause more inflammation, it breaks cells down and things like that. Calcium helps to fortify the cells, and it also helps to, shift the body's pH to more alkaline and balance out the acidity. You also have things like zinc and selenium, which help to moderate the immune system function, which are very, very important. I'm going to mention two herbs really quickly, and then I'm going to pass it on to Sister Safan, who's going to talk a bit more about the food element and some other things. But two herbs that are very useful. One is reishi mushroom. Reishi mushroom, Reishi. Reishi mushroom has a very good moderating type of an effect on the immune system. It kind of helps to calm the nerves as well. It does that without sacrificing the immune system, so it can balance the immune system without sacrificing immune function. That's a very, very important key point, and it helps the body to better adapt to stress. Another thing that you can use is turmeric. Turmeric works better when you pair it with some type of a healthy fat, especially something that's a high source of omega-3, like a chia seed or flax seeds or things like that. Turmeric and that mixed together is a very good combination to help to fortify the cells and alleviate inflammation. Has kind of a cleansing effect on the liver as well. So those are two things. The last thing I want to mention from a nutritional standpoint is vitamin D3. If you're not getting out in direct sunlight, which is always the best thing, and that's how your body manufactures that nutrient, you also want to make sure that the vitamin D3 is present in your body. So make sure that, you're getting that as a supplement, all of those different things, whatever you can find in a food form, find it in the food form. And we're going to pass the mic over to Sister Safan, who's going to give you a little bit more information on some food nutrition or food elements of it.
Heads up, Dr. You gave excellent introduction to autoimmune issues in general. The one thing I would like to add is that the tips and advice that we're currently giving to people that are dealing with autoimmune issues most certainly apply to everyone dealing with any type of ailment, as the root cause of all disease is inflammation. So all of these tips and tricks everyone should be using. They are particularly extra beneficial to those dealing with specific autoimmune issues at this present time. So I definitely appreciate the thorough explanation from Dr. Yu. What I wanted to kind of highlight with autoimmune issues, they tend to sneak up on people. They tend to hang around in the space of the body and the space of the emotions for quite a long time before they actually rear their head and say, look, I'm a major issue right now. And send off those alarm signals of pain, of your kidneys shutting down, of you not being able to move your hands or to hold a pencil or write in the morning. And what is mostly beneficial to everyone is to learn to listen to your body. And in listening to your body, the easiest way to do that is to begin to look at how your body interacts with both food and your environment. And the way that I suggest people do that is by keeping what is called a food diary. So there's an app called Foodie, Foody, that allows you to not only track what you're eating, it tracks when you're eating it, and then you can also list any symptoms. You can actually type it in yourself to write in the symptoms that you experience, maybe, a day, 2 days afterwards, maybe hours afterwards, that can help you begin to target those patterns. Because it's easy for us to get up on Monday morning in a rush. Well, now we rush into our computers, but to get up, and get in a rush, dealing with the kids, you throwing stuff back, you're buying all kinds of things from fast food or from, places like the quick pickup, buying a salad and things like that. And there's things that you may miss in the pattern of your eating habits, in the pattern of where you go during the day, but they will show up if you do something as simple as keeping a food diary. So I would really encourage everyone to begin to use that. You can even enter in the specific ingredients in your home recipes if you can't find the actual food listed in the app, but it has quite a few handy, I'll call them handy, handy ways to begin to identify the patterns of distress. So I would definitely use that as my first suggestion to everyone on here. And the other thing, most certainly, is to begin to look at your stress levels, because all of these immune issues are amplified, are triggered by stress. And with stress, the stress could be your food. The stress could be something emotional, like Dr. Yu was talking about, something metaphysical. The stress could be too much going on in your head. The stress could even be something physical, like going to the gym and doing high impact workouts all the time. But you won't know that unless you document it and are able to look back over time and compare and contrast the symptoms that you're having, even the nondescript symptoms, something like, maybe you were gassy one day. Maybe when you woke up, you was kind of moving just a little bit slow, not necessarily in pain, but just moving just a little bit slow today. It could be nondescript things like that can clue you and shut down a triggering event before it starts. Now, as far as food goes, I would really, really seriously encourage everyone to go, those that are dealing with things like lupus and rheumatoid arthritis specifically, to go look up Dr. Brooke Goldner. She is a physician who has lupus. She is a physician who has had a very, very trying battle with lupus. And she is now a major advocate for the whole food, plant-based lifestyle as a remedy for autoimmune issues. When I was talking about stressors, meat, dairy, just like Dr. Yu was just saying, all of those, they carry proteins, they carry inflammatory markers, they carry things that animals do, the same thing we do in our body, animals do in their body, right? So if we're having an inflammatory attack, our body is going to contain, our muscles are going to contain inflammatory proteins. Well, the animals that are on the store shelves today all have inflammatory markers circulating throughout their tissue. So you are consuming that. So you are triggering yourself by consuming those products. So pulling back just to get to a whole food plant-based diet, even if it is to calm down a response, would be absolutely beneficial. And I very, very much so encourage you to go look up Dr. Brooke Goldner, as far as a great resource to see her journey and to see how she's been able to um, pretty much not have any inflammatory response since she transitioned to a whole food plant-based lifestyle. The other thing is a lot of people that are recently diagnosed with autoimmune issues get this long laundry list of foods not to eat. And as a holistic nutrition coach, it kind of bothers me a little bit because not all of those foods are going to trigger everybody. So what you need to do is take that food diary and list the things that trigger you. Usually on those lists, they have things like alfalfa sprouts. They trigger people because there's a specific amino acid in it that tends to trigger an immune response. Same thing, garlic. Like garlic. How many of us eat garlic every day? You know, but it stimulates your immune system and can trigger an attack. But we don't want to erase garlic off the face of the earth for anybody with an autoimmune condition. We want to allow the people that are triggered by that to eliminate that out of their diet. And then those that aren't, continue to use garlic. It's very beneficial for other reasons. Same thing with the nightshade family. So what I definitely would encourage people to do, if you are going to begin the journey of identifying which foods to eliminate for your diet, the best thing is to begin to eliminate one by one and don't bring it back until you have no reactions. And when you get to the point where you have no reactions, then you slowly add one thing at a time. And then you can identify, once you add it back, if you're going to have a reaction to it, you can say, oh, that's what triggers me. Not a blanket message of eliminate everything. It's only eliminate it so you can calm your autoimmune condition down, and then slowly add one thing at a time back, similar to the way doctors do with um, children that have food allergies. You eliminate a lot, and then you slowly add small things back one at a time. So I hope that is very, very helpful to those dealing with the issues. I do have one special announcement for those in the DMV area. We have started a group to assist those that are struggling or trying to connect with others in the DMV area. We have created, it's called the DMV Barter, Trade, Donate, supplies and services during quarantine. So everybody we know has everything that we need. And the only thing that needs to happen is that we need to connect each other so that we can share and trade. So right now, money should not be an issue for anybody getting the things that they need. So I invite you all to join us on Facebook. Please join the group. It's an open public group. Post what you need, post what you got, and let's trade and make sure everybody and their families are all well taken care of. It's called DMV Barter, Trade, Donate, supplies and services during quarantine. So thank you for sharing with me, Dua, Hatep, and on to the next one.
I guess I believe I'm next on the coming up to talking about these autoimmune um, diseases. Peace, everybody. I'm Clarice, and I'm gonna touch on different things that can help topically with the pain, the inflammation, the swelling, those different effects that you feel because of the illness of uh, any type of autoimmune deficiency, whether it's lupus or arthritis or what have you. And Safan and Dr. Yu did a good job listing some of those things already. that could be incorporated in products, or that if you happen to see any ointments or creams or what have you with those things in them, um, those would definitely help with the pain and inflammation. So I myself make a ointment called the muscle ache balm, and it does help with aches, pains, stiffness of the joints, that particular thing. And it does have some of those things in there. Some things that do help: celery seed, um, comfrey, St. John's wort, burdock root, um, tea tree, and camphor, which has somewhat of a like a menthol effect, um, but it doesn't burn the skin. And I'm going to I'm going to touch on some other things that you can eat. Some of these you can easily do at home. You can make an oil with them. Just uh, putting the herbs. You can buy any herbs dried, place them in oil inside of a glass jar, and either have it sitting in the window, or you can put it on the stove in water and set the fire completely on the lowest setting possible, and have it just sit and steep there. And the properties of the herbs will go into the oil, and you could also use that. So for reducing inflammation, or for soothing, you can use things like ginger, thyme, eucalyptus. Uh, okay. Um, for You can also use chamomile. So you can also make a tea with chamomile, or you can make a tea with borage, which is also called starflower. And you would use the leaves, and just steep it in water on over boil water first, and then put the herbs in the water, and like you would make a regular tea, and you can use that as a wash on your skin, especially people who have lupus. You end up with different lesions or what have you on your skin, and I know that it causes like a burning effect. And the chamomile, even another good one is aloe vera, the aloe vera plant. That is also good that you could put on your skin to soothe that that burning feeling a little bit. Um, Another thing, let's see, for relieving painful swelling, you can use thyme, ginger, you can use garlic, you can use it's a herb called willow bark. Um, there's also a supplement that's out called uh, MSM, and it's a supplement that you can even mix that in. It comes in a form of a white powder, and you can mix that in with lotion, and that would help with the pain as well. MS, let's see, MSM. It it just overall helps with all types of if you have achy aches and pains. So that is what I have for you in terms of ways that you can deal with those days when you have those painful episodes, crampiness in your fingers or feet, and massage. When you apply any type of ointment or anything, the massage also helps greatly as you're applying those things. And that's what I have for you all. And on to I'm going to turn it over to Mama Elaine, where she is going to uh, demonstrate for us a yoga practice that will be helpful.
Absolutely, my sister Ashe. Thank you. Thank you to all of you. And welcome to those who are viewers. Movement is the key. When things are sedentary, they have a tendency to harden and not be available anymore. During a yoga practice that actually it was a belly dance practice that I experienced, my instructor, who was Dr. Sunyata Amin, talked about how crystals would settle between our joints and the fingers. They would settle in the joints of our toes and keep us from doing our very best as dancers. Well, I'm grateful because now I know that drinking that water, making sure that your body is flushed, staying with alkalinity, that is in the things you eat as well as in the things that you do. And an alkaline environment might be an environment that is less stressed. So let's just get into what we can do. Another of my instructors, this was Kwesi Karamoko, shared joints and glands as a modality of yoga. As a Kemetic yoga instructor under Master Yasir Rahotep, I learned that slower, and slowest is the way to experience your yoga. A derivative of that Kemetic yoga is the joints and glands, which I plan to share on today. One thing you'll learn about joints and glands is that you have to have rhythm. You got to have music. It's not the slow, and slowest. It's a derivative. So I do have some music. Now I want you to tune into the workshop for a full session, but just a little bit here, and somebody give me a clue when our time is up. I don't do demonstrations without encouraging people to join me. Can you hear the music? Wrist. Allowing those hands, those wrists to open up. And the fingers, shake them out. Participation sport, come on with the chi. Let's see it, shake them out. And the music is by the Live Love crew. Shake it out. Over to one side, shake it out. Joints being used. It's joints being useful. All the way up to the arms, shake it out. Energy, moving, that's the chi. One arm is high, it's high, it's high, it's high. Then the other side, take it up. I know you hear the music. What about our rhythm? Come on, sister, work it out. Just a nice little stretch. Good. In the front, bring the thumbs forward. No pressure. And out. Forward. Oh, I see that oxygen coming in, Master Chef. Yeah. Forward and out. Now make circles with the rhythm of Dr. U's drums sometimes. Making circles. How do those circles feel going in the opposite direction? Because much of this, like Sister Shatfan said, is observation. How does that feel? Palms out and relax. Out to the side, lifting up, spine is up, and relax it down. Going forward, nothing in the spine should remain if we arch that spine. Every vertebrae, every vertebra, lifting up and through, looking up. No pressure, just the rhythm. Come on, Sister Clarice, you in. Awesome. Roll with that flow. Roll with that flow. Allow that energy to penetrate and move. All those things that have no place anymore. Breathing in with the oxygen. Is it easy for you? Beautiful.
Get that movement going. How about the head? Oh, we like to move the head to the right. Round center. All the way around. Allow that happening. Allow that to happen around the midriff, even as your head goes around. Beautiful, beautiful movement. That music is encouraging. Around to the opposite direction, just to give balance. Oh yeah, yoga is all about balance. Getting into the upper chest, all the way around, and my shoulders say, bring your head up. Move them forward and back. Getting right into the DNA. Right into the DNA with movement. Forward and back. Nice, Sister Clarice. Very nice. And you too in the listening audience. It makes a difference if you participate. It's something you ate. Keep it moving. Movement is the way. What about the low body? That's why I needed my chair. Lift that knee and down. Lift that knee. Use your hands. How about your ankles? Get them into the game. There you go. Get that ankle up there. Circulate it in the opposite direction. Beautiful. All the way around. Don't forget your breath. Where is your breath? Inhale. Bring that knee to chest. Exhale. Take the shoulders again. Shoulders. Come on. Leaning long torso. Leaning forward. Long torso. Until something happens. Something may fall off. May get something you need. Both things are yours for the claiming in this time. Beautiful rhythms to the other side. Lift that left leg. Ready? Inhale. And make the circles. All the way around with the ankle. That ankle probably hasn't experienced these circles in a while. Inhale. Go in the opposite direction. Yes, alone but not left out. Breathe out. Inhale and exhale. Allow your legs to come down. If you can get a wide stance, I want to get into the hip. So with a wide, your knees are wider than the chair. I want you to take that right leg in and down. Feel that in your hip? You're sitting down, bring it up. Take it down. Bring it up. Y'all just watch your knee, take it down. Bring it up. Take it down. Down. That's the last time. That one feels pretty good. Let's move. Upper torso, lean forward, stretching the same area in the hip. Sister Clarice, I'm about to expose you. All that capoeira that'll catch you in a strange space. Forward and come on back. How about the left leg? Let's walk that out to its extension. Bring it in. Take it out. Bring it in. Yeah, those working are having fun. Bring it in with movement. Movement with the chi. Yeah. All those energies circulating. Have your aura radiating. Last time, bring it in. Now, specifically for arthritis, I walk my feet in. I want to slide my right, slide the feet forward. Right is going over the left and just come up as much as possible. If that knee is sitting way up here, it's okay. Because what I want to work with is the fingers and grab the toes. Did that. So if you can get a grip between your toes, put the fingers in between and stretch back. That area right between the toes feels amazing. And bring it back. These are areas that my reflexologist mom made sure that they got touched.
made sure that these areas got recognized as links to other parts of our body, our being, other parts of our cells, right through the physical. Holding those toes, you can make circles. Reflexology points talk about this being my head I'm working on. Moving in both directions. And each of those toes do the same, pull it back, circles. All right, sisters in there. Next toe back, circles. Usually not in public, back. With the next one, circles. And then that baby toe, take it back. Make circles. Slide that leg down, the drum says so. Shoulders, shake it out, move around. I know we're getting tight on time. Somebody give me a thumbs up, thumbs down. Just about a minute before we stop. Left leg over right. Left, slide it up. All right. It's time. All right. Stretch it out. Do the same thing on the other side. That's what I want you to know. Stretch it out. I'm about to let you all go. Invite you to the April 4th event, where we find out, as you know, I am a community activist serving as a council member in the unique town of Capitol Heights. And on the 4th of April, Mr. Taylor is going to have a conference so that we can talk about the rules that it takes to make wellness a way of life for us. I turn it back over to Master and Chef. Thank you all for being present.
Right on, right on. Give thanks, Mommy Lane. Give thanks, Mommy Lane. And also give thanks to those watching, as well as other practitioners for sharing. And then, just as a reminder, this is what it's all about. The health class you never had is about sharing the information that is generally not common. Again, the health class you never had is about sharing the information that most of us is not familiar with, being educated in the system that we was educated in. And we like to give you more than what you bargained for, as they say, more than what you asked for. At least from my person, even just sitting here listening to each presenter, even as a colleague in the area of health, metaphysics, even Dr. You share some things, my person like, okay, wow, yeah, that's heavy. So, mother love on the healing self and the by faith, my person always like to bring God back into the equation, Kemetic, metaphysical warrior priest. Personally, my person doesn't do anything without it's God, my God, the God that we embrace on the inside and commune and work with. With God, there's nothing that's too hard with you and God. Teamwork, making the dream work. Yoga demonstrations, this is fun. On the foods, tell you just a plethora. Yes, so feel free to go back and watch as often as one may need to. Again, just to kind of catch up on some of the things that was said, the techniques and some of the insights, as well as just as a reminder, being as though this health class you never had is we scheduled it for an hour, a good 60 minutes. So we definitely can't fit everything in. There's an infinity of knowledge that we all have. So again, this is just designed to give a little insight, on some practical causes, certain ailments, diseases, challenges that one may be having, and some possible solutions to those challenges, in a non-traditional way. And with that, we also have another component of the C.H.I, which we have. It was the free pop-up health clinics, and now because of the Corona season, we have shifted to just simply sharing workshops and tutorials individually from time to time on our page, the Collective Health Initiative, which again is a good way for you to follow us, keep up on the social media page, the Collective Health Initiative. There's also a group. The page is more so just from the C.H.I, the practitioners, sharing insight pertaining to the C.H.I and what we're all about, what's going on. And the group is a combination of not only the C.H.I practitioners, but also associates and those following and just who come across various workshops, information that's pertained to self-healing, which is again what the C.H.I is all about. Healing self-healing. And, once you heal self, that's it. You're right and tight, the whole thing like that. And also because the tutorials, again, can be a bit much. We encourage people to go back and just, feel free to watch. And there have been quite a few tutorials that are on there as well already. And look for new ones to come up. For example, Dr. Yu should be having something maybe April 11th. My person going to have a crystal wrapping tutorial coming up soon. Mommy Lane getting back to the yoga. So again, just stay tuned into that page, the Collective Health Initiative page. And we also want to remind individuals that we put out a few weeks ago, the Love Yourself to Life Challenge. And with that Love Yourself to Life Challenge, there was a winning participant that was chosen, Sister Kaliba. And we have began working with Sister Kaliba. Because of the Corona season, we were not able to, start and, move things on that we would like to. Nonetheless, now that we are transitioning, as they say, the new norm, getting settled into, how we can still move forward, in spite of everything, we've, set a time we're all, reaching out and working with her. So look forward to possibly the 20th of April. We're looking to schedule a time and have her to come on the show, and you can hear straight from her mouth, her own testimony, what benefits, if any, that she received from working with the CHI, the Collective Health Initiative. And along with that, just a reminder that you do not have to be the winner of a contest. We are here available for you. Again, we like to provide services that are free so that, in a sense, if it makes sense, it's just enough to fill in some gaps, one can really just take the ball and run with it. However, if there's a little bit more that one needs for assistance, coaching, a little more insight, you can either, again, reach out to us individually. We're here to serve, as well as you can reach out to us as a collective, as your holistic HMO, and we can work out a 30-day, 60-day, 90-day kind of routine where we all see you to assist with bringing back into alignment those things that may have gotten out of alignment over the years for whatever reason.
Mr. Shep, is there any other announcements?
Well, the DM body was already spoken about the tutorials. That's pretty much all from my.
I think it was Sister Precious Mother Love.
Okay.
One Love and Wellness. I did want to mention that on Wednesday at 10 o'clock, I will be doing a meditation, an explanation of a manifestation with that meditation. Also wanted to mention that also on April 4th, we're doing a nationwide, or actually a worldwide meditation. You'll see that posted on our CHI page as well. That across the world, they're requesting, hopefully millions of us will tune in and compile our energies and meditate on healing our world. We're focusing more on ourselves. So individually we're healing, but together as a group, we can be very effective combining our energies and resources. The time is April the 4th, and it's listed on our page. Also, I'll list my event for Wednesday at 10 a.m. I'll send a link there because I'll be live on our YouTube.
Right on, right on. And is there any other announcements? Any acknowledgments before we sign off for today's show?
Check the CHI group for updates.
There it is. Stay tuned in and give thanks for flowing with the CHI for another episode of The Health as You Never Had. Right on, right on. There it is.
Blessings, everyone.
One love and wellness.
Peace, balance, and blessings. See you soon.
Right on. Peace and wholeness.
It's up and wholeness.
Thank you to the host with the most.
Right on. Learning as we go.